Tyrant Cat Auto Smoking Pipe. A smoking pipe that can smoke cigars. Take out cigarette from humidor. Humidity is very important for tobacco leaf. Insert cigarette into tube. Insert the tube into the auto smoking pipe. Press button, cigarette is ignited. You can smoke now. Release the button, the cigarette will be extinguished immediately. The taste is very sweet, better than traditional tobacco pipes. Let's take a closer look. Each time the button is pressed, the tube will move forward once. The cigarette is ignited. Release the button, the cigarette will be extinguished immediately. The Virginia tobacco leaf used in the tobacco pipe is the same as cigarettes. We put the cigarette tobacco leaf into a traditional tobacco pipe to smoke. The flavor will be completely different from direct smoking. Smoking with the traditional tobacco pipe, flavor will be much sweeter. Why do the same tobacco leaf have completely different tastes when using different smoking methods? No one in the world has ever explained it clearly. I use the most scientific method today to clarify it thoroughly. To protect the children around us, I also invented a filter bag. Just exhale the smoke into the filter bag. More than 98% of smoke will be filtered. I'm not using science, not metaphysics, to explain how tobacco leaf should be smoked in order to achieve the best flavor. This is a smoked cigar. You can see that its surface is a layer of gray ash. Next is the black charcoal layer. Further inside is the original tobacco leaf. All the sweet and fragrant flavors are produced during the process of baking moist tobacco leaf into charcoal. There aren't any sweet or fragrant substances left in the charcoal. During this process, tobacco only absorbs heat and do not release heat. But during the process of burning dry charcoal into gray ash, it produces the biggest enemy of tobacco, high temperature. 1000 degrees Celsius high temperature. This high temperature not only destroys all the sweet and fragrant flavors, but also vaporizes the tar and produces a large amount of unpleasant pyrolysis gas. We smell it bad, it's because our body is rejecting toxic gases. This is why tobacco pipe and cigar have sweet and bad flavors mixed together. By enlarging the diameter, increasing the humidity of tobacco leaf and the smoking skills, tobacco pipe and cigar maximize the time to transfer from tobacco leaf to charcoal and maximize the release of sweet taste. So the humidity of tobacco is crucial. This humidor is a free gift. Let me explain how to use it. Take out the inner box first, then pour some salt into the humidor. Then pour in some water and shake it. Then put in some paper towels to absorb the water dry. Then put in the inner box. You can keep cigar leaf, cigarettes and cigars in this humidor. Finally, cover with lid. The humidor is done. The effect of this humidor is the same as traditional humidity bag or even better. In the video, I need to leave for a while. I'll come back in 5 minutes to continue smoking the auto smoking pipe. But I suggest finishing the whole smoking process within 2 hours to prevent the tobacco leaf from drying out. Continuing on, while regular cigarette can hardly produce sweet and fragrance flavor. It's because its diameter is too small and the combustion speed is too fast. The tobacco leaf will directly burn to gray ash at a very high temperature. There's no carbonization process. So good tobacco leaf will directly burn into gray ash. It's really big pity. Continue to talk about heat not burn cigarette. It only heated into charcoal, but why is it not sweet? Here we must mention the sugar in tobacco leaf. Below 220 degrees Celsius, sugar turns to caramel and the Maillard reaction will occur. But Maillard reacts very slowly and requires a very long time to bake to release just a bit of sweet flavor. Between 220 and 500 degrees Celsius, sugar cracks into substances such as acetone and releases a large amount of unpleasant bitter smoke. At around 600 degrees, sugar will suddenly sublimate into caramel steam. The color of the steam is caramel color. The taste of the steam is the sweet caramel taste. and the temperature of the open flame is exactly 600 degrees. Isn't it magical? In China, there is a cooking technique called sugar smoking. Put sugar in iron pot below 500 degrees Celsius. The sugar will release a lot of unpleasant bitter smoke. But when you put sugar in an iron pot at 600 degrees, the sugar releases a lot of caramel steam. Food smoked with this caramel steam will become extremely sweet. Flame is the soul of tobacco. The flame source for auto smoking pipe comes from mechanical lighter capable of protecting children. Mechanical lighter can only be ignited inside the metal shell of auto smoking pipe and cannot be ignited after removal out, all designed to protect children. Here, I would like to appeal to all smokers to change the bad habit of inhaling smokes into their lungs and simply use auto smoking pipe to taste the sweetest flavor of tobacco. I hope that auto smoking pipe will reduce the health risks of smokers and reduce the risk of fire caused by littering cigarette butts. That's the original intention of designing the auto smoking pipe. After 5 minutes, I come back and continue smoking the auto smoking pipe, enjoying the sweet taste of tobacco no longer limited by time. You can enjoy anytime. We have finished smoking this cigarette, and now we take out the cigarette from auto smoking pipe. You can see the cigarette is extinguished and wetted through. Pipe smokers and cigar smokers surely understand why it's wet. Let's take a look at the cross-section inside the cigarette. Because the flame ignites in different part of cigarette each time, the inside of cigarette is always carbonized by 600 degrees flame. This is the scientific principle that why auto smoking pipe only release sweet taste. To test my point again, I tried it with a cigar for $15 each. The more noble the tobacco leaf, the more inseparable from the flame. As the world's best flame designer, I believe that the flame has artistic soul and spirit. Only noble tobacco leaf for cigar are worthy of the artistic flame from the auto smoking pipe. The high temperature by charcoal combustion causes cigar to produce spicy and unpleasant taste, which submerges 90% cigar's sweet and fragrant flavors. Traditional smoking methods, which have lasted for thousands of years, have been destroying the flavors of cigar. Cigars and tobacco pipes are described on internet as metaphysics, but I only believe in science. Just a little cigar leaf is enough for me to smoke for more than an hour. Here, I appeal to all tobacco factories around the world. Please produce specialized tiny cigars for auto smoking pipe. It will be a huge new market. Let's try cigars flavor with auto smoking pipe.
Yourself off the ground. I said, young man, 'cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy.
finále majstrovstiev sveta proti Brazílii. Napriek čílskym pokusom pripomenúť tento nešťastný čierny moment skóroval Baggio s pokojom skutočného vyznávača buddhizmu.
Tu ídolo como jugador?
Maradona.
¿Cuál es tu sueño?
Jugar en la selección argentina.